Shalom. I'm going to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that will honor to the apostles and to the elders of Grand Millstone. I'm going to say Shalom to the Yakim out there laboring in his truth, and all in the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the right way. The name of this video is going to be Nuclear Holocaust. I have did this lesson before. I just did not post it on YouTube. But, I'm making it again through the Spirit, doing it again through the Spirit for edification's sake. So the word can get out there. Maybe the elect to see this video, wake up. You never know. We do this thing for the elect, man. Because this the only people that's going to get it, man. The elect. So they can be sealed. And once they get sealed, we out of here, man. Through the Spirit. Notice I say always say through the Spirit, man, because that Spirit, man, it keeps this thing flowing. This is Jeremiah 50. This whole chapter is good, man. I want to read the whole chapter. I want to. This whole chapter 50 and 51, they so good, man. But I'm just gonna get the key scriptures, the key points of that specifically talking about these arrows or nuclear missile. You had a movie back then. I forgot. I think it's called Broken Arrow. Let me look it up. Give me 1 second, because the apostles always talk about it was a movie about named Broken Arrow, and it was about a stolen nuclear missile. Broken Arrow. Aha. Broken Arrow. Terrorists steal nuclear warheads from U.S. military. So that's what this movie is about. See, it says Broken Arrow. So it's about a nuclear missile. What is an arrow? A nuclear missile. Broken Arrow is a 1996 American action film by John Woo, written by Graham Yost, and starring. It deals with theft of 2 American nuclear weapons. Bow. So what is an arrow? According to this, it's a nuclear weapon, man. Okay, so the first scripture is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array. You know how they line up in battle array? That's what he's talking about. Against Babylon, round about. He's really talking about these missiles, though. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows. So the arrows that he's talking about is these nuclear missiles. Just like that movie Broken Arrow. Spare no arrows, for she had sinned against Yahweh. So that's my first scripture. Let me jump into my second. This is Jeremiah 50 and 25. Yahweh hath opened his armory, and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation. What is the weapons of his indignation? These nuclear missiles, man. Those are the weapons of his indignation. Indignation is righteous judgment. Righteous judgment. Righteous anger. Yeah, his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So this is his work. The scripture says, behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. And, I got that scripture. I already got that scripture jotted down. So, through the Spirit, I jumped already. I'm already to it. I already had it wrote down. Jeremiah 54. Okay. Jeremiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument from his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And what is the waster, man? These nuclear missiles. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So that proves right there that his servants are the only ones that's going to be doing his work, and all that they're supposed to do. His servants are going to be doing that. Not everybody, because everybody not his servant. This is Jeremiah 51 and 11. Make bright the arrows. There's that word arrow again. Gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon. So the Medes are basically the Russians today, because they are in that land. It is also known as Gog and Magog, because that land that Russia is in is the land of Gog and Magog, and the Russians really are the Medes, because the Medo-Persian Empire, it was an empire with the Persians and the Medes, the Russians. So he is raising up the kings of Russia, the spirit of the Russians, to come against Babylon and destroy it, and that's exactly what he's doing. For this is the device against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Who is his temple, man? Basically Israel, man. We are his temple. Salakia, that's it. That's it on that. Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. So what can make your eyes dissolve and consume away? That radiation, man. That radiation from them nuclear missiles. And it's gonna be so hot, it's gonna melt everything, man. This is 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Now that fervent heat that it's talking about is from these nuclear missiles, the nuclear holocaust. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. 11. Well, actually, that's it, man, because everything gonna be burned up. Isaiah 13 and 5. Isaiah 13 and 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. And that's what they finna do to America, man. They finna destroy this place. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. But then Yahweh gonna turn around and judge them also. Because they are the wicked, but Satan is casting out Satan. And his kingdom is divided. So Russia gonna take America down, and they gonna get took down. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. What does a bow do? It shoots an arrow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Now, where's the ends of the world? Known as the West, man. They're going to be shot over here. And there's some going to be shot over there. I done ran through all those scriptures. That's all the scriptures that I had jotted down. But destroying wind, I know where that's at. Like Jeremiah, I believe 51 and 1. Yep, this is Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus said Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me a destroying wind. Verse 2, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted up in his bringedang, and spare ye not her young men, destroy her ye utterly all her hosts. And that's ultimately what's going to happen to America, man. Verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And what's her wine? Women should have the same rights as men. Democracy, all this bullshit that he's spreading around the earth, man. That's her wine, man. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly falling and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And she not going to be healed, man. She not. She not going to be healed. I'm going to jump down to verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Key word, he said the rod of his inheritance. So basically, he going to use us. What you use a rod for? What do you use a rod for? To beat something, man. So if we're the rod of his inheritance, what he gonna use us to beat these nations, man? Yahweh of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe. Ooh, what is a battle axe? What is a battle axe? Yahweh said that portion of Jacob, his elect, is his battle axe, and weapons of war. So and his men are gonna be his battle axe and his weapons of war. For with thee will I beat in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So he's gonna use his men to beat these governments, these kingdoms, these nations down, man. That's spiritual power. Verse 21, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. That's simple, man. He's just gonna break these people to pieces. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. With thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. 23. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. 25, behold, I am against thee, O destroying government. It says mountain, but you know that word mountain really means government, refers to the government in America. The destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyed all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain, a burnt government. Verse 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. 29, and the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. So that's what's coming to America. And that's how you know it's not talking about the ancient Babylon. The ancient Babylon is Iraq, right in the area of Iraq. But it said this Babylon is not going to be inhabited. It's going to be a desolation. The old Babylon is a desolation, but it's still people living there though. And right now, actually, North China just sent 150,000 troops into North Korea. So like I'm typing in the scripture. This is Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. A plowshares is a farming tool, and as the Apostle Paul says, they're gonna use the money they use for I think gardening, or and they're gonna and they're going to and they are going to use that money for uh farming or whatever, and they're gonna put it towards their nuclear program, and their pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And that's exactly what North Korea just basically said. Because China just sent 150,000 troops to North Korea to strengthen their military. And Lord knows, this World War finna get popping, man. It was another scripture in mind I wanted to grab. Okay. I remember it now. Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. And right now we supposed to be occupied in prophecies, man. Because right now it's the time of prophecy. You got the RFID chip that's blatantly open, and you can receive it. Well, it's not demanded on everybody yet, but it's here though. You got martial law that's been threatened by the president, and he clearly don't care, man. How he just did attack on Syria. He can send martial law troops into America real quick and lock America down. He ain't playing. He getting shit done, man. And the quicker he get the shit done, the quicker we gonna be out of here, man. So with that, hey, we at the end of this thing, man. We at the end. It's almost the 12th hour. We are at the end of Esau's kingdom, because the scripture says Jacob is the beginning. Wait, Esau is the end of the world. This is Second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So it's gonna be the end of his age. That world. That world means age. I think it's Ion. That means age. So it's the end of his age. In our age, the age of Israel is going to be after that one. And we're going to establish our kingdom on the earth. And the 144,000 are going to be that governing body. They're going to be judges of the earth. Basically, they're going to be that government. Basically, they're going to be governing the earth. Judges of the earth. The scripture says that, ye judges of the earth. I think it's Psalms 2. Because that's what the elect going to be, man. They're going to be judges of the earth. King David is also in that number, man. He's going to be a judge of the earth. Because he wanted the elect. He was one of the disciples. Through the Spirit. I mean, if you accept it or you not, man, he was Apostle Peter. Yeah, he was Apostle Peter, through the Spirit. That's why Yahweh set his church on him. Because he knew that was King David. He knew that. Yahweh knew that, man. And he knew he could trust King David or Peter, through the Spirit. Well, it was Peter, but it was King David through the Spirit. So he knew that he can trust him and set his church on him. That's why he did. He set his church on Peter, because he was called Cephas. That word Cephas means a rock or stone. Let me get that. Let me search it, because I ain't going to find it somewhere here. Cephas. This is John 1:42. And he brought him to Yahushua, and when Yahushua beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon, the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation a stone. So he's talking about Peter. So Yahushua already knew who it was. Aha, I'm gonna start at St. John 1:40. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. And he first findeth his own brother Simon, and said unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted Hamashiach. And he brought him into Yahushua, and when Yahushua beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon, the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation a stone. They was happy to find Yahushua. They was actually searching for him, because they was like, he actually said, We have found him. If you found something, you were searching for it, right? This is Psalms 2:1. 8. Well, I'm gonna start at 10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. So that proves that we are those judges. And we're going to be gods on this earth. This is Psalm chapter 82, verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall as one of the princes. So, wait, Salah. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. And that's true. We're gonna inherit all nations, man. Through Yahweh Bashem Al. It says, Ask of me, and I will give ye the heathen for thine inheritance. That's what Yahweh said, to I believe King David. It was right there in Psalms 2. Psalms 2:8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So we're gonna receive the heathen. We're gonna receive a lot of blessings, man. The blessings that are written in this book, man, we're gonna receive them all. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatam. I hope you was edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And I'm gonna say Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatam.